What's up, guys? We are here for a little lunchtime kiki. I am Vashti Hurt, and you know my girl Sheena Quick, and you are tuned into Quick Blitz week 16 of the Carolina Panthers season edition. And yeah, it was a 23-20 win over the Buccaneers. Sheena, you are muted. All right. So, 23-20 win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to put the Carolina Panthers back in first place in the NFC South. I wanted to start off with just your immediate thoughts from the game and who your offensive and defensive players of the game were.
For offensive, we got to go Bryce. We got to go Bryce Young, not just because he's the QB, but because, he used his legs to extend plays when he needed to. We had seen him kind of be a little hesitant in some of the Panthers' losses, but he's trusting his legs and going through his progressions, i.e. that I don't even know what read JT Sanders was on that scramble. I know it was a scramble drill that they've done before that resulted in a touchdown, but I'm giving my offensive player of the game to Bryce Young. Defensive player of the game, I'm going to go Mike Jack because once, like he said, to take a punch, to throw a punch, you have to be able to take a punch. He said he took his punch on that first 1 yard strike to Mike Evans in the end zone. And he said, I took my punch. I got up and I got back to it. So, rest of the game, he was solid coverage. I'm giving it to Mike Jack. And, like JC said after the game, he said, me and Mike Jack are close. Our bond is because no one knows what it's like to be out there on that island except for the two of us. So I'm going Mike Jack on defensive side of the ball, Bryce Young on the offense. What you got?
Yeah, and I'm going to go a little bit different way with this. And I was thinking this morning when I woke up and I was like, the obvious answer is Bryce Young. But I want to use this opportunity to give a little love to somebody who might not get a lot of love. And it's Yosh Nijman. Yosh Nijman a couple of times has been thrust into a role along the offensive line, whether it's filling in for Taylor Moton on right tackle. This week, he filled in for Ike Ekwonu, who was injured at left tackle, and we didn't hear his name not once. And that's always a good sign. That's when an offensive lineman is doing his job. Bryce had a decent amount of time in the pocket. I don't even know. Okay, he was sacked twice. But for Nijman, I've seen some times where Panthers fans have kind of given him some work, rightfully so.
Yeah.
But this season, he is doing a good job of filling in when needed. And I didn't watch the game and say, "Oh man, this is not good on the left side." So shout out to Yosh Nijman. I see a lot of talk about Nick Scorton. Nick Scorton had a game. He absolutely did. But he is on the line with a lot of big guys who get a lot of attention. So I'm going to agree with Sheena. How many times have you seen Mike Evans torch this Carolina Panthers team? And I think that Baker Mayfield came into the game thinking, I'm going to target Mike Jack, which Mike Jackson. And Mike Jackson answered the call. He held his own. Evans had a decent game. But no, not really. 9 receptions, 31 yards, 1 touchdown. He had that 1 touchdown early, and then it was curtains. So I gotta give props to Mike Jack. And Mike Jack did not hesitate to pop his fish after the game. This is what he had to say.
Having a lot of big coverages on Mike Evans. What was that like for you? And you had a couple of those breakups, things like that. What was working well for you in that way?
Oh, man. Back home, we got a saying, my heart don't pump Kool-Aid. So it's like he had the first touchdown. And at that moment, it's like, all right, you find out a lot about yourself. So it's just don't flinch. I knew I was going to have the opportunity again, and I just took advantage of it.
You said the key to guarding him was not to be scared, and you played like that.
Yeah, you can't be scared. He put his clothes on just like I did, so that's just how it is.
It looked like you and Baker kind of had a couple words.
Yeah, sometimes you got to show other people that you ain't scared of them either.
Did you go into today like planning to kind of bow up and then try to intimidate him?
Nah, y'all notice I don't really talk trash, but it was just kind of like he felt like maybe I was scared. I don't know what he thought, but that's just kind of what I was on today.
What did he say?
Did you think that? Yeah.
He ain't really say much. It's just how he is. Like he carries himself like he Brett Favre. Like, you feel me? So it's just at the end of the day, you just gotta go out there and play ball.
You know when somebody say, "You feel me"? Come on.
Listen, and that's the thing. Mike Jack, you know, I know, Cassidy, I know the way she worded the question, you know, did you try to bow up and intimidate him? I wouldn't call it intimidation. I would call it a you got me messed up type vibe from Mike Jack. And like you say, he doesn't talk a lot. You know, JC is the talker. Mike is kind of the silent assassin on the other side that tends to be overlooked a lot. We see it all the time. JC needs to shadow. JC needs to travel. JC needs to travel. And I'm not saying that is a direct reflection that Mike Jack is incapable, but I think he is severely underrated as a CB2. And I've said that all season. I said that last season. He is a more than serviceable CB2. And he's answered the call when he's had to answer the call. You know, outside of that, what game was that? Dallas. Outside of the Dallas game, he got torched a little bit. He took accountability for it. He said, you know what? JC was like, let me, you know, cover George Pickens. You got it. But that's the respect between the two of them. You know what I mean? And again, I'm going to go back to JC's quote, you know, no one knows what it's like to be on that island. And it's Mike Jackson's not on social media, he says. But these guys see this stuff.
They all say that they're not on social media.
They see that stuff.
They see
like a few times, every now and again, people will admit to us, so, you know, I mean, I see some of it. They see that. They see that stuff. They see the trash that people were talking about the secondary going into this season because, like, after Mike Jack and JC Horn, who else? And not saying that that's not an area that they need to address this offseason, but that's an area that has been severely underrated when it comes to this Panthers defense. So, you know, and to segue into Mike Jack when he was talking about Lathan Ransom last week and then this week too, he was like, I mean, it's a grown man sport. He's going to answer and respond like a grown man can. And I think that led a lot of credence to Lathan being able to bounce back that quickly in another super pivotal NFC South game.
I think that shout out to everybody in the chat. We are already at over 300 people watching us right now. John said, I'm not on social media equals I don't reply on social media. And that's true. Like, I think that these guys see a lot of stuff. I don't know how you could be anywhere these days and not be on social media. It's just really a part of society. It's a part of us. Like, we're on social media right now talking to you guys. So you're on it, but I get it. These guys see what happens. And I like to see guys pop like that. I like for somebody like Mike Jack, who isn't really, he's not going to initiate the trash talk, right? And Baker was in a situation I saw it on the after the game, because in the press box we really can't see. We don't get to see the telecast because we're so busy watching the game from the box and all the stuff that's going on in the press box. But I saw, like, they had some words, and I'm sure Baker started that, and all that did was get Mike Jack going. And he's not somebody who's gonna back down. And I'm glad he said what he said after the game. Like, you know, like, maybe not compare him to Brett Favre, but Brett Favre had a cockiness about him. I mean, I'm not a fan of Brett Favre. For
me neither. I wish you would have used somebody else. I know it came to mind first.
I get the example of Brett Favre because, you know, he had this kind of aura about him, like he really thought he was that guy, and Baker Mayfield has that aura about him also. We're gonna talk about. Well, let's get into it now. The narrative going into the game was that Baker was this shunned player who
redhead stepchild, just booted up out of Charlotte. Unceremoniously.
So wrong in Carolina. You posted the Wilkes video. Let people know who might not know, because we have a lot of Panthers fans in here, but let people know who might not know how it went down for Baker in that last season here in Carolina.
I want to say Baker was 1-4, 1-5.
1-5.
Walker, I know 1-5. I knew it was something. I knew it was something that was cheeks. 1-5. And when Sam Darnold, he went down in training camp with a high ankle sprain, everybody thought Baker was that guy. Baker has had a little ankle incident, but PJ Walker came in and balled. PJ Walker came in and balled. You can say what you want to say now because hindsight is 2020, but that particular season in 2022, PJ Walker was playing quarterback better than Baker Mayfield for the Carolina Panthers specifically. And I don't think you can't leave any part of that sentence out. Steve Wilkes came to that presser. Matter of fact, it was December 5th, 2022. And I don't delete videos. He sat up there. He told us, he said, yeah, I'm sure you guys, have heard the news that Baker has been released. And Baker asked for his release after he learned that Sam Darnold was starting that week and that PJ Walker was going to back him up, a.k.a. Baker Mayfield would have been QB3. Steve Wilkes was very, very professional in handling the matter. He said, I understand, I get it. Baker is a professional. He even mentioned that Baker was part of the reason that he went to the Cleveland Browns earlier in his career when he did. But at the same time, do you think Baker Mayfield is going to sit on the roster at QB3 for the Carolina Panthers, for any team in the NFL in its entirety? So I don't know where this narrative came back and why it's coming back now. It's been 3 years. I didn't hear as much about it last season. Maybe he was saying it. I didn't hear as much about it a season before that. And it came up twice this time. It came up when the Bucs got ready to play the Jets. He said, I have a chip on my shoulder. Their DC cut me in Carolina. And I kind of side-eyed it then. But then when I saw Schefter tweet about it yesterday, I'm like, this is a made-up chip on your shoulder. It's okay to want to come in and beat Carolina because they're in NFC South, but to perpetuate this narrative like, I was shunned, redheaded stepchild, thrown to the wolves, cast aside, that's not what happened. And even people in the comments were like, I would have been pissed too being behind PJ Walker. PJ Walker was playing better. He was playing better then. Is he playing now? I don't know what he's doing now. But that particular season, when the Panthers needed wins, when Steve Wilkes needed wins, he had to do what was better for the Carolina Panthers. And at that time, PJ Walker was a better option for the Carolina Panthers. And Sam Darnold was a better option for the Carolina Panthers at that time.
It was PJ Walker and Steve Wilkes who had the Panthers playing for relevancy for the first time in years. Remember, we were at that Tampa Bay game when Mike Evans torched them. But, it was PJ Walker that threw that pass to DJ Moore in Atlanta. We were along the front lines. Baker was not good. He couldn't throw the ball. Everything was getting tipped. He looked frazzled. This was not a good situation. And I would have respected him more if he said, you know what? I didn't play up to par when I was at Carolina. I'm thankful that they let me go. So he was, if the Panthers had made him stay on that roster, he might not have been able to revitalize his career.
Yeah, that's true.
To create this false narrative that you are this victim. I don't like people playing that victim card when it's not warranted. This is a guy who has always been given the benefit of the doubt, been privileged his entire life. Like, miss me with that. And he lost yesterday for the first time. Prior to yesterday, he was 5-0 against the Carolina Panthers, and now he is 5-1.
Well, and the thing about that, too, is, it's fair to say that there were a lot of circumstances in Carolina that season that didn't necessarily bode well for Baker Mayfield. But one of the things that really stood out for me when it came to Baker was DJ Moore. I remember Shannon Sharp saying that Baker turned DJ Moore into just a guy. And I don't know if you remember, but that was the storyline when Baker was starting, is that DJ Moore had an insanely low percentage of target share. He wasn't being targeted. OBJ had the same issue when Baker was in Cleveland. So I just think that there were a lot of things and circumstances at play. This just wasn't a good fit. And that's okay. It's okay. It's no hard feelings. You don't hear people trashing Baker Mayfield. And to be fair, David Newton has been asking everybody and their mama. I saw it in the comments that David Newton's been asking everybody and their mama, has Baker talked about it? And I'm like, Baker's going to talk about it. Now, the Bucs did politely decline Charlotte Media's request to speak to Baker. They basically said, get it how you live on the Twitter feed when he comes on here Wednesday. I'm pretty sure he's going to mention Carolina, but we're not making Baker Mayfield available to you guys. I don't think it was the
Bucs that declined. I think it was Baker Mayfield that declined. This is just my opinion.
You think he would have passed up a chance to pop?
Yes, I absolutely do. Yes, I absolutely do. Because those were the questions that would have been asked. We were there. So we would have asked a question about, didn't you ask to be released? People are saying, you're saying that you got cut. We would have asked those questions, and he would have then been placed in a situation where the whole the whole narrative that he's built, this whole victimhood that he's surrounded himself regarding the storyline against playing the Panthers would have come crashing down. And, so I personally think that he declined to speak. So yeah, Ben McAdoo was the OC and there was another comment that I like. Oh, this one. The Panthers agreeing to release him when asked, and him going to the Rams was the best thing that could have ever happened to him. That narrative needs to stop. So thanks. Shout out
just
Katie.
what you said. Yeah.
Shout out everybody who was in the comments. So yeah, let's cut the narrative. I do want to play what JC had to say, and then we're gonna move on from Baker.
Talked to him, but Mike Jack did.
Yeah, Mike probably not as nice. He ain't play with him.
Can you talk about that? Because Mike Jack kind of bounced back from that first touchdown and had a good game.
Yeah, that's Mike. His mentality. That's a mentality you gotta have as a corner. I remember as soon as he caught the touchdown, he came to the sideline. He was like, "I told Baker, come back, keep coming." And that's just the mindset you gotta have as a corner. And as you said, he balled the rest of the game and was able to shut him out. So. Mike did his job. Hell of a player.
I got a question about that PI in the end zone. Can you take me through the explanation that the ref gave you?
He didn't really give me no explanation. Mike do a good job of talking to the refs before the game and during the game, and the whole game he on them about any time. Yeah, Mike Evans. And they gave him one right there, but I wasn't really tripping about it. With a big receiver like that, you're gonna have PIs and stuff like that because he a good receiver. He's smart. He know how to use his body and push you and pull you, and they're gonna get a benefit to the receiver every time. So, yeah.
Maybe that's what he and Baker were talking about. Maybe Baker was talking trash, and Mike said, "Come back with it, then. Come back."
I can see that.
Like that. That's
well.
Energy.
Who was it? Who were they playing? It might have been last season. I forget who they were playing at the bank, and Mike Jack basically was like, "You're not about to catch another ball the rest of the game."
Yes, I remember that.
And
I don't remember what game it was.
I don't remember what team it was. I don't even think he said it to the player. I think he said it to one of the coaches on the sideline that was chirping. So when it comes to Mike Jack, anybody can get it. He's going to say what he needs to say, and then he's going to stand on business.
He's going to stand
on business. He didn't duck or dodge us. After that Dallas game, it would have been easy to be like, I'll talk to y'all after I take a shower. I'll talk to y'all after meetings and just wait for us to leave. But he stood there in the paint, handled it like, look, I was getting blown up. We had to adjust. I'm okay with that. We have a good enough relationship on the back end where we hold each other accountable. And I think that's what we're starting to see. We're not starting to see, but what we're seeing more and more as far as like not just a literal sense, but just able to visually see more and more in these games where that secondary is being tested a little bit.
Speaking of secondary, somebody wants to talk about defense. We're going to talk about defense. What a change for week-to-week change for Lathan Ransom. You go from having a personal foul call that potentially cost the Panthers a game, more than likely was a huge contributor to the Panthers' loss to the Saints. And then this week, you have a complete 180 and you seal the game against the Bucs the Arizona game. You sealed the game against the Bucs, and it was Harrison. It was Harrison, I think.
Oh, okay.
I think it was Harrison. He sealed the game. He sealed the win with a game sealing interception. This is what he had to say after the game.
How fitting was it for you to end this game with an interception, given how everything went last week?
Yeah, like Mike said, I faced a lot of adversity, heard noise from everybody last week, probably some of y'all too, but you feel me? That's football at the end of the day. That's how you shake back.
Can you take me through that interception?
I got they ran, I think it was wave. I was messed up on Mike, and Shaw bumped him real good and got a good opportunity to read the quarterback, make a play.
What's the touchdown Sally? I wanted to ask you about that.
That's that Joker. People heard my laugh, that video, me laughing and stuff during the game. You're gonna hear that when I play, and that's just that Joker laugh.
Shout out Lathan Ransom, because he was popping his stuff too. Now, when he said some of y'all too, I was like, "What?
Some of y'all too."
Why you saying people? I didn't listen. I wasn't mad at that play last week because these quarterbacks are so sneaky. Like, you don't know if they're gonna go down. You don't know if they're gonna get up and slide. I I don't even know what he's supposed to do in that situation. So I wasn't one of the
There's
ones
nothing
who
he
was
could have done.
overly critical of him after that play. But for him to bounce back and have that interception, what does that say about him as a player?
I mean, and that's the thing. Between him and Trayvon Merrick, they are very hard-hitting safeties. And I asked Merrick, I'm like, you guys look at that play and change up your play style and are less aggressive? No, because if they were, that pick may not have happened yesterday. I like that Lathan, he has what he calls the OGs in his ear, like, yo, shake back, bounce back. Like anybody could have been in that position. Like you said, in the last week, that's been a topic of conversation. I haven't seen too many people like really hound on or pile on Lathan Ransom for that play because it was a bang bang play. Shuck was going. It wasn't like he was bouncing off to the outside and going out of bounds or sliding, to give himself up. He was in the trenches. They didn't have any interior linemen. You can even see the Saints offensive linemen. They weren't trying to block. They knew exactly what they were doing. And I got a hats off to Kellen. That was a good play call. It was a good play call. He saw the interior defense was gone. It's strategic. Now, Shuck selling his injury, that's a whole other, topic that we talked about last week. But I think that anybody could have been in that position. And I think that Lathan Ransom makes his stamp on his Panthers legacy, his NFL legacy, to be like, look, no matter what, no matter how they call in the game, this is how I'm going to play. It is what it is. Sometimes it's going to be good. Sometimes it's going to be bad. And he finds himself on the polar opposite of last week where everybody's like, oh my God, he cost us the lead and And then now it's like, oh my God, he preserved the lead. So, it's a week to week thing. You have to shake back. You have to bounce back and have a very short term memory, especially in this case where every single game has to be a win for the Panthers to get into the postseason.
Somebody said, Plymouth said, and Plymouth, you come in our comments, Sheena, they want to know if you... Why do y'all want us to give out these flowers, y'all? When's the last time you sent your girl flowers? How about that? Like, what kind of flowers do you want us to give Evero? Maybe, and I think Plymouth was kind of joking with us, but like,
yeah.
I'm not... Evero still has to show me something. I think that this defense...
His players are just making plays.
There we go.
It's not a result of the winning. They're just making plays.
In spite of, not because of. And this is, it's just what it is. Because even in that, like, it looked like they were about to dink and dump. All the middle of the field was wide open.
The whole game. All day. Wide open all day. So no, I'm not giving him flowers. Who I am going to give flowers to are those defensive players. Individual, they're making plays. They're not. Evero's scheme isn't tricking anybody. They know exactly what they're getting, and they almost are on their way to dink and dunk their way all the way down to the red zone on that final drive. But they came up with the turnover. So no, I'm not giving him flowers yet, but I am giving flowers to each and every piece of that defense.
Each and every.
Even Nick Scott. Nick Scott was decent yesterday.
Well, you know what? I haven't seen the Nick Scott slander on the TL as much.
Nick Scott has played well these last couple of weeks.
Nick Scott, but
he's played well over these last couple of weeks.
He has played very well these last few weeks, and that's how you know when Panthers fans aren't slandering him that he's doing something decent, because at the beginning of the year, y'all were ready to take him out. We'll address this because I've seen this a couple of times, and then we're going to move on to the fans and shout out the fans. Do you want the Panthers to bring back Wilkes as DC? It's not happening.
The question is, it's not. Do you think Wilkes would even entertain or come back?
No.
I mean, I think it's just kind of too much has happened. Even though, he's kind of getting bounced around the NFL at this point. I feel like he's kind of getting scapegoated in some of the situations that he's been in. I don't know. And I know everybody's like, bring Steve Wilkes back for the culture, but it's clear they're creating a new culture here. And we didn't even have that in the outline to talk about, but they're creating a new culture. How many times will we see the Panthers lose a close game and just be dead in the water the rest of the season, 4, 5, 6 game losing streak? Instead, this team has gotten punched in the mouth, spit out blood, and came back, put some Vaseline on their face, and got ready for the next round. And I think that that's the culture. That's a testament to the culture changing. I don't think they have a slogan, a motto, a catchphrase, a bulletin board thing that they live by. I think that this team is establishing an identity in a culture week after week. We're seeing that never lose, never say never type of mentality. I'm not saying that Steve Wilkes would threaten that. All I'm saying is there is a changing of the guard, and I don't know how that would mesh.
It wouldn't mesh. And this is the thing. Like, you don't, when you become the new guy, you don't bring somebody who was the old guy back. You just don't. It's like having your man's ex-girlfriend live in the same house with you. Why would you do that? You just asking to get cheated on. Am I lying? Okay, so
that is one hell of an analogy,
but it's true. Like, you inviting him in, you inviting her in the house to sleep in the guest room. You're absolutely not doing that. It's a thing where, you know, as let's say the Panthers, and you hope that this doesn't happen, but let's say the Panthers fall on hard times and they go on a losing streak. Every Panthers fan is going to be coming for wanting Steve Wilks to take back the reins at that head coaching job. Everybody's going to be looking twice at thing and being like, this is a guy we should have hired in the first place. This is the same guy who every player who was on that team, some of whom are still in that locker room, stood 10 toes down for and wanted him to return back to Carolina. You just can't do it. If you're smart, you can't bring in a guy like Steve Wilks to come back into your house. Not that he's not a great coach, not that he's not a
it's
great
because
person.
He's a great coach.
It's because you don't bring the ex-girl back just to come in and sleep with your man again. You just can't do it. Now, Canales still hasn't had an opportunity to build his own staff because he kept the whole defensive staff. He retooled the offensive staff. I wouldn't be surprised if he now brought in somebody whose defensive philosophy matches more what he wants to do.
Yep. I agree.
Long term. So we'll see what happens during the off season. But yeah, I don't hold your breath on Steve Wilks coming back.
Listen,
before we talk about, go ahead.
Quiet is kept. As soon as they brought Wilks back with Matt Rule, I said, oh, he's going to make a great interim. Steve Wilks was brought back because they knew that at some point in the season, Matt Rule was going to be up out of there. They didn't know if it was going to be week 3, 4, 5, or 6, but they knew eventually he was going to be up out of there. That's why they had Steve Wilks on that staff to get ready to step into that role. It's almost like a buffer, if you will. Like, he might not be around. We got to have somebody that can, finish this thing out. That's why Wilks was brought back, the second time. And I agree that would be bringing Steve Wilks back would be David Tepper saying, I don't know how long Canales is going to last. I mean, he's on the hot seat. If you see Wilks come back, Canales is on the hot seat. And I think that's a testament to how good of a coach and how important of a coach he is to Carolina and Carolina's culture.
Bryce Young. What's Bryce's middle name?
Christopher.
Okay, so did Bryce Christopher show up? Like, has Bryce found his groove?
I think he has. I think Bryce has found his groove because Canales has found his groove too. I think Bryce goes as Canales goes and vice versa. So you're seeing, again, like I said before, Bryce is extending these plays with his legs, whereas we feel like there's sometimes that I feel like he was a little timid in previous games, but when Bryce Young trusts his legs, trusts his playmaking ability, not just his arm, his playmaking ability as a whole, good things happen. I forgot, was it Diaby that was standing on the field with his hands on his hips like Spike Lee after that scramble touchdown to JT?
Yeah.
They could not believe it. And I think that again, as this season has gone, we've seen what happens when Canales and Bryce are in tandem when it comes to just trusting the call. We've seen, throws on second and short, or third and short, fourth and short. That's trust in your QB to not just take the easy run to try to pick up those 2 yards. Air that thing out because I know that my QB can put the ball where it needs to go. I'm trusting this wide receiver to get out, run his route, and beat his defender. I'm trusting the protection of the offensive line. And that's just a trust that Bryce Young has not consistently been able to have in his support and in his supporting cast, and a trust that Canales had to develop when it comes to Bryce Young, and trusting that, this young man was number one for a reason. He was a Heisman winner for a reason. He was the number one high school player coming out for a reason. Let him do what he does and not try to keep these training wheels. If I'm going to put him on the bike, I'm going to let him circle around the neighborhood and drive around. I'm not going to keep these training wheels on him with elbow pads, wrist pads, extra helmet, knee pads. I'm going to let him cook. If I'm going to give him the reins and expect him to lead this team, I have to let him lead this team. And good things happen when we've seen Canales do that.
This is that play you were talking about where I think everybody was stunned. This was the play of the game on offense for me, and this is Bryce Young taking us through that play.
Job matching the concept, and they did a great job up front. Scrambles like that, you're only able to do that because they create scramble lanes for us. O-line did a great job of giving me time to extend the play, and that was JT's scramble response, which is something you love to see, him seeing me get outside the pocket and doing a great job of losing his man, and find himself open. So again, great job. It takes all 11 for a play like that. I'm grateful.
That play right there, and I keep seeing Bama Bryce, like that's the guy that was you picked number 1 overall to be your quarterback. And I still think that Bryce and Canales collectively have some growing to do, but after this season, and we talked about this a little bit before, like there is no question, like the Panthers should not be in the market for another quarterback. Like Bryce has shown enough of what he can do to prove that he's a guy. And that play right there, we were in the press box like, what? Did y'all just see that? That was a play. That was a play.
Heads up, eyes up, looking for the target the whole time he's scrambling. Like, I mean, that's the Bryce Young that everybody was editing that Panthers jersey on during the last season of Matt Rule. So
before we talk about the fans at the bank, and I put this in the thing on purpose. Should we worry about Excel? Is it time to worry about Excel?
It's still season 2 for him. So I'm not a fan on being completely out on players too early. But that being said, in this league, you don't have guaranteed opportunities. So when you get them, you have to make the best of them. Excel hasn't been getting a ton of targets, but that means I don't care if you get that one target, you better catch that mug. You better catch it. It was a pretty egregious drop in the middle of the field. Then, he had the unfortunate incident where he did not know where he was on the field, stepped out of bounds. The Panthers went right back to him on that next play, and he made a play. So being able to bounce back from that literally like one play to the next, I'm not completely out on XL yet. Not yet.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I think that there should be concern. But listen, Panthers fans, this is not the first time or the second time where players have taken a little while to get acclimated. I remember people calling on Derek Brown to get done when he wasn't really popping after year 1, still not great after year 2. Like the same thing with Bryce. Excel, I think, has all of the traits that you need, like all of the stuff you can't teach.
And he's getting open.
He has to try to put it together. That drop was egregious. Like you said, Sheena, you aren't getting a lot of opportunities. You have to make them give you more opportunities by making plays when you do have an opportunity to make plays. Next year will be critical for him. He wasn't a guy that popped immediately in college. It's always kind of been a slow burn for him. So maybe he needs some more time, and that's a good point. Steve Smith, some guys it takes 3 years. But for XL, I wouldn't be out on him. I understand the concern. I understand the criticism. But I said it with Bryce. I said it with Derek Brown. I like to give rookies in the league at least 3 years. I need to give rookies in the league 3 years. And that's that. John Mango made a good point. Dan said that he was a developmental player. They picked him in the first round because they thought he had long-term potential, and they wanted to be able to exercise a 5th-year option on him because of that. He was never really a first-round pick per se. And he wasn't even supposed to be the main guy that first year. And we said this before.
Yeah.
So I understand the concern, guys, but relax on it a little bit. Like I get it.
Yeah, at least a little.
I personally like to give 3 years for guys.
For sure. I definitely agree.
Bank of America was rocking yesterday.
Listen, it's been years. The last time it was like that was for the one, the game where Cam came back against
The
the
return
Commanders.
game. And it didn't
return
last
game.
that long because it was
It did
like
not last that
it was
long.
hype
That's why I
for
said
like
that game
a
in
quarter,
particular.
and that was it.
The game yesterday was lit. The blackout. We even saw the wave make it all the way around on the top and lower bowls. The black towels that were swinging. I mean, again, Panthers fans have not had meaningful football to watch in December since Steve Wilkes. And then before Steve Wilkes, it was 3, 4, 5 years before that. So they are embracing the fact that this team is giving the city something to come out for. And it was great weather yesterday too, by the way. Shout out to the fans. And I know that, JC Horn talked about it because he's talked about it when it's low. He's talking about it when it's high. He's like, it would be good to see more fans, but we're not giving them anything to cheer for. We're not giving them anything to show up for. Now that the fans are showing out, they're doing their part. How many false starts did they draw on the Bucs offense yesterday?
At least 2. And one at a critical drive, they got that false start.
At a very critical drive. So since, we are just 2 years removed from Frank Reich doing a silent count in a home game against the Dallas Cowboys, y'all. This is big. I know people are like, no, it's huge. Fans play a big part in the way their team is playing. The defense is riling up the fans. Normally there would have been like 12 people that they could have riled up on defense in the fourth quarter. Defense wouldn't have even been able to do one of these. You know what I'm saying? They're just trying to get through the game, going through the motions. It's different because every snap matters. If they want to host a home playoff game, which they will, if they're able to win this division, which will be huge. Even the last time the Panthers went to the playoffs, that still wasn't a home game. They were the wild card. They had to go to New Orleans. That was the 2017 season. The last time Carolina hosted a playoff game was the Super Bowl year in 2015. So shout out to the fans, man. You guys showed up and you showed out.
This is what Derek Brown and Ashawn Robinson had to say about the fans today.
Yeah, shout out to the fans. The shit was rocking in here today. So shout out to the fans. Don't be afraid to travel in a few weeks. It was lit today. It was lit. It felt like a playoff game. It did. It legit felt like a playoff game today. And we needed them. And that they helped us. We appreciate them for that. That was big for them.
That was huge. The fans had it rocking.
Petey Pablo popped that thing off at the Roaring Riot pep rally.
Come on. Petey Pablo had backup dancers and everything.
Matter of fact, let me post that. Let me send you that video. He had backup dancers. It was lit. It was turned out. I will say that. Yeah. My kids were like, Petey Pablo here?
I think I saw on your Instagram story, and I saw on a couple of other Instagram stories. I follow Roaring Riot, so I saw on the Roaring Riot. Yeah, it was good time. Somebody asked, did we outnumber Bucs fans yesterday? And it wasn't even close. There were some Bucs fans, but Panthers fans showed up and showed out. It was not one of those stadium takeovers like we've seen in recent history. It was a rocking stadium. Carlo is being messy.
What Carlos say?
Somebody called us a weak city and fan base, though.
I just uploaded the Petey Pablo video.
Let's see. Okay, let's see Petey Pablo. Listen.
They had it rocking. I said, okay, Roaring Riot.
How much you think it costs to bring Petey Pablo? How much you think?
Look at you messing with me. Look at you being messy. I don't know. I should ask Zach.
I think the booking fee $10,000. I think $10,000.
Maybe he gave him. You don't think he gave him a little hometown discount? To get the fans ready.
$10,000.
You're probably right.
Maybe
right.
Seven. I don't know. This is just something I'm curious. If anybody in the chat knows the booking fee for Petey Pablo, I've been curious about this all week. Panthers analyst said to replace Sweet Caroline with Raise Up as a Panthers victory song. I like that idea. Sweet
Y'all
Caroline.
been asking for that for some years now.
It's so old. I get it, the nostalgia and stuff, but like, turn me up after a win.
Yeah.
We have about 1,000 people watching now. Thanks for joining us for our little lunchtime key, our quick blitz. If you're not subscribed, make sure you're subscribed and make sure you are liking the post and also sharing the post. Y'all being so messy. Somebody said,
girl, I ain't even
7,000 in a case of whiskey.
Well, he said Seagram gin because he drink it and they pay him for
it. PD about 2,500. Y'all, come on now.
Man, he ain't gonna come do nothing else for y'all.
PD has some financial trouble. I think Vashti's right. Yeah, I'm thinking about 10. And somebody asked about a super chat. We are gonna do a super chat. Hopefully, we might have a super chat set up for next week. We're still learning about that. So I think we are gonna do a super chat. Thank you, Joko, for suggesting that. One more thing before we go on to dripping or tripping, because we got to wrap this up. We got Canales at 120. Bryce Young said this after the game, and I was like, okay, Bryce. All right, Bryce, come into your era. But real quick though, somebody said the Bryce Reaper. Shout out to Panthers fans because they put that graphic
national
about the Bryce Reaper during the telecast, and I rewatched it last night, and that's nothing but y'all. Like, y'all really moved the needle as far as this team is concerned. Somebody was in my comments saying that, oh, Bryce doesn't like the name. We should respect that. No, I like it. It is stuck. Coker said he didn't like cokeheads. Well, he kind of laughed about it, but like,
he's embraced it now.
Players do not get to nickname themselves. Like, that is something that is bestowed upon you. And if that is what y'all have bestowed upon Bryce, then that's it. And this is what the Carolina Reaper had to say about this moment after the game.
2 years of ups and downs here. How does it feel to be in first place with 2 weeks to go here?
Yeah, it feels great, and it'll feel great for the next 24 hours. After that, it's not going to matter. What is this, week 16, 17? That's not when the playoff starts. So there's still a lot more work to be done. There's still a lot more football to be played. Again, 24-hour rule, we'll celebrate this one, but we know that we have to refocus.
My man said week 16, not when the playoffs start.
I like that because so many people are saying, oh, the Panthers are overachieving this year. They are not. This was a 9-win team a season ago. I know everybody's like, that defense was horrid. They were a couple of plays away from beating both teams that were in the Super Bowl. They were always right there. Now we're starting to see things go their way. Like I said before, grace favors winners. Luck favors winners. Favor always follows winners. Like, there's so many times that the Panthers have had such a quote unquote losing culture that anything that can go wrong does. The ball hits the upright, or somebody kicks a 60 foot, whatever, 60-yard field goal. Patrick Mahomes scrambles out of bounds and gets another 15 yards for a walk-off field goal. The ball is just past XL's fingertips in Philly against the eventual Super Bowl champs. And so I don't think this team is overachieving. This team is exactly where they feel like they're supposed to be. Actually, they're a little bit behind where they feel like they should have been. They felt like they should have won those 2 Saints games. They feel like they should have won that Arizona game. There's only a few games that really just got out of reach for them. So no, I don't think they're happy to be at 8-7 because they know that they could very well finish this season 10-7. And they might. And if the Panthers go down to Tampa Bay and come away with a win, Bryce might have him another body in Todd Bowles. The Reaper might have him. The Reaper might have him another casualty. Those Panthers go down to Tampa Bay and get another win. But first, they have to get through Sam Darnold and the Seattle Seahawks, and just the irony of them having to go through 2 former Panthers quarterbacks to make the playoffs is just hilarious.
There you go.
It's such a Carolina thing to happen, though, for them to go out.
I honestly wouldn't want it any other way. And if the Panthers roll off 3 3 straight wins, which is doable. I think, and y'all listen, y'all can bookmark this. The Panthers would be one of the most dangerous teams going into the playoffs
I
because
was just about to say that.
it's not the most talented teams. It's the team that clicks at the right time. And
At
the
the
team
right time.
also, it's always a team in the playoffs that really has nothing to lose, not many expectations, but they're there and they cook. And so,
That's not a team. If they make it into the postseason, the Carolina Panthers are not a team that you're going to want to play. Because again, for everything that we've seen, we still have not seen the Panthers play their best game yet.
There it is.
It's week 16. Well, week 17, we haven't seen the Panthers' best ball. And if they're able to put that together these last 2 weeks, they're going to be a dangerous team to face in the playoffs.
All right, we're going to get to some dripping or tripping. We got about 10 minutes, and then we have to go to Canales presser. We're going to start off with who we were just talking about, Bryce.
I like it. I think it's very Bryce coded. I wish we would have gotten to see the whole fit with the pants and the shoes, but a lot of these are going to be waist up. I know Vashti is going to say that he looks like he is on the cast of All American.
It is
there
so
in Cali.
giving that. It's
giving that.
Come on, Bryce. Like I know that sweatshirt.
But that's his style. Yeah, that's just his style.
I get it, but the thing is, if that's your style, we can add a little pizzazz with accessories. That's the
So let me ask you, if he threw on the shades, would that be dripping for you?
It would be more drippy than this.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to see the full fit.
I'm the quarterback and All-American who get all the girls.
It is very Jordan coded.
It's high school though. The All-American is a high school show. No shade. No shade. I just want a little bit more, Bryce. Just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. That's it.
Let's see what he puts on for this Seattle game. Let's see what he comes with.
Give me a little bit more. Don't compromise your boyish style. Just add a little pizzazz to it. Just add a little pizzazz to it. All right. What Timo doing with them white pants on? What is this? Now, Sheena, you knew what you were doing when you put this up here. Timo usually gives me trade and try on. I don't know what this is giving me. Those white pants gotta go. What?
I wonder why he did the white pants.
Why did he do the white pants?
I feel like a khaki or something would have sufficed with the coat and the turtleneck.
Yeah. It would have fallen in line with
the color scheme.
Friday trade and try on aesthetic. If he had put on a nice jean or, like you said, some type of brown pant, the white is just
I don't know why he has those bright whites on with that coat. I like the coat.
The coat and the I like the chocolate
and the turtleneck. Yeah, I like that. If you either go chocolate or you go like a khaki color. If you don't go chocolate,
cut that fit
but
off
not
at
bright
the
white.
waist. That's
the thing. That's the one they should have cut off at the waist, and then he would have been dripping.
Yeah, but those white pants gotta go. Maybe it's one of those things you gotta see in person. I don't know. All right, we're going to another big man.
Shout out to Ashawn for the new bearded look that he has. It definitely knocked. We talked about it last night. It knocked years off of his face. Just a simple cut down of his goatee. But how are you feeling about the fit, Vashti?
Okay, so what I'm gonna say about Ashawn is at least Ashawn tries to give us a look. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like we're not getting, team issued sweatsuits.
Right.
With that being said, where did he find these pink windbreaker pants in his size? Because I can't find windbreaker pants that fit me. What store sells pink windbreaker pants?
I'm in the locker room. I said, man, that's be cutting up
y'all.
Tomorrow.
This man is 6'4", 6'5", probably 320. They not dangling around the ankle. I need to know where he's found these pink windbreaker pants. These are the questions that need to be answered for me.
They're custom. I'm gonna ask him tomorrow. Somebody said Ashawn has been a grown man since first grade.
I mean, that's outside of
that. You know what?
This look is not dripping.
Yeah, I don't like the pants.
But the pants with the vest, I don't get what he's doing here. And I saw it in person, and it looked like this in person.
When I saw it in person, I knew that you were going to be cutting up today.
Boy, I can't find pants long enough for me. But he found a windsuit pant in pink.
And did more like a peachy coral.
No, girl, those are pink. Okay. No peachy coral.
Those are pink
windsuit pants.
Look, well, they said it does make him look slimmer. Maybe that's what he was going for.
Child, I don't know. Okay, who we got next?
Are those black forces? I couldn't tell. No, they're not. Jalen Coker came to work.
Yeah, but those white socks. What he doing with them white socks on?
Maybe he was trying to get you a little Michael Jackson.
I mean, this is giving, I'm just coming to work. I don't mind a sweatsuit look. I think Supreme gives him clothes, or that's his thing.
Yeah, I think that's his thing.
This is fine. It's just the white socks that are peeking through the all black look that are throwing me.
Yeah, all black, like head to toe, would have been tripping for him. I'm not tripping. I'm sorry, dripping for him.
It looked like he robbing the Bucks. You know what would have set this off? Some black forces. Then I would have been like, okay,
yeah.
Cool.
That's why at first when I first saw the picture, I was like, are those forces? I'm like, no, they're not, because he was on some black force energy yesterday for sure.
Somebody said leaning into the cokehead vibes. Are you?
I think listen. The day he walk in with an all black fit, like a suit, that's gonna give me Scarface vibes for sure. Not a stick up kid.
Wanham. I mean,
it's trendy, but not overly trendy. Like, you know how some people try to be too trendy and they try to hit like 4 trends at one time?
What's trendy about this, Sheena?
No, I mean like the I don't know, those bell bottoms. Those aren't bell bottoms. I mean, I don't know. I'm not young anymore. You know, the young kids have the way that they put stuff together, Vashti. Like, I don't follow the trends. I'm a classic lady.
I don't know what's trendy about this.
I mean, he could have tried to put together like 2 or 3 different trends at the same time. Who knows? We don't often get pictures of him
all the way around. I'm not a fan
of
those.
We don't really get pictures of him like that.
We don't. I don't like the shoes with those with the loose pant. I feel like that style shoe goes with a more tailored pant.
You feel like he needs a chunkier sneaker?
I would have gone chunkier sneaker. I'm not a fan of those jeans. I know they're supposed to look dirty, but it's just I need more effort from Wanham. That's it.
Class at CPCC.
That's it. This is what it's giving. It's giving. I'm going on the yard for school. Thank you.
But you know what's interesting is his personality in the locker room. I would have thought that his game day fit would be different.
More trendy though, more stylish.
More like, honestly, more business casual. He's kind of quiet.
Well,
more trade and try on.
Shout out Jay Grizzly, because I could not put an aesthetic with it. This is CPCC. This is CPCC. This is giving CPCC. No shade to CPCC, but this is what it's giving. All right, T-Mac.
So I
need more from these guys. I need more from these guys.
That's the thing. The younger guys, to me, outside of Princely, I think that they're very like dressed like they're going to football meetings on campus, like team meetings on campus.
Exactly. Yeah. This
That's
is
what
a
it is. They are
game.
these guys are ball players, and I feel like once they get into like years 3, 4, and 5, that might be when we start seeing a little bit more of the personality, the personal stylist, and things like that. But right now, like especially when it comes to that wide receiver room, those guys are all business. All business meaning I'm not come here to put a fashion show on for you guys. I got to walk past these fans because this is just because I got to get to the locker room type situation. I got meetings in 5. That's what I get when I look at T Mac and Coker in particular. We
All
haven't
I'm
really gotten
saying
pictures of
is
XL, so I don't know what he had on yesterday. David Moore's just now coming back. Jimmy Horn, same thing. Jimmy Horn too.
Jimmy Horn. No, Jimmy was dressed last week.
Last week, but outside of last week, he very much dresses like this on game day.
I don't know.
And I'm not calling it a bad thing. It's just like, yeah, like they're waiting on that second contract. That second contract is different. Like these guys look like they're going to team meetings.
But I don't care about that. We're not talking about this is a first round pick, okay? This man is not hurting for coins to be waiting on a second round contract. Like
no, I mean, and
could wear,
this person said it as kind of a joke, but like I just think that just like we're kind of seeing more T Mac's personality a little bit as opposed to when I think it's just something that comes later when it comes to them. Like just him and Coker, I'm not like, oh my God, I can't wait to see what they wore to the game. Because I know that more than likely it's going to be something understated like this. Maybe T Mac might throw a graphic tee on for you, but they very much dress like they're headed to team meetings on, at the off campus facilities.
This is what I throw on to go to Chipotle and come back home.
Somebody said he's headed to Golden Corral.
That's what it's given. I just would like, on game day, like during the week, that's perfectly fine. But on game day, just give us a little bit more. Like you guys play with helmets on. It's not like, we get to see your faces all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I get it. They focused on the playoffs. Listen, look good, play good. Don't y'all say that? Don't we talk about the uni? Like your style and all that stuff is important. All I'm saying is it's important. All right, we got to go quick. This is giving offensive line. Like this is I like this.
Flannel. You want your O lineman in flannel.
I like flannel too. Like matter of fact, this is giving me more than what
Taylor?
T Mac and Coke gave me.
Oh, T Mac and Coke, yeah.
This is cool. He had a little dad gang Santa's helper hat on. Like I like this. I
like it too.
I'm not mad at
what
this.
Else we got?
All right, Chuba. I like this.
I love the coat.
Yeah,
I love the coat. I like the color scheme. I like how the hat goes with the coat. He's not doing too much. I even like the little wallet chain.
This is what I'm saying. This is not extra.
No,
this
it's
is
not.
Very
but I like it.
But it's giving some style. We got something.
You know what though?
I love
Shout out to Chuba because Chuba used to always be tripping. He was always on our tripping segment.
And also his clothing line.
He was a habitual offender.
He's retooling his clothing line and he's going to come out with some varsity jackets during the off season. So, but this is grown man right here. This right here. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, man. This is a man this is a man who's gonna pop at you during the game. This is a man who's gonna shut Mike Evans down. Like this is what I'm talking about.
He still has been giving Ocho Cinco vibes lately. I don't know if it's the glasses or what.
It's the shades and the bald head, but I'm with it.
Yeah.
Like nice crop jacket, fits him well. We got a little pattern. We accessorizing with the shades. He's not doing too much, but it's enough.
Yeah. I'm going dripping.
Drip. All right, last one.
JC Horn. You guys seem to really, really like that Satoshi brand. A lot of people were commenting on it.
All the guys in the locker room are getting
they
Satoshi.
Love it.
So if y'all don't
like
know
that brand,
this is how I found out about denim tears. Like this is how I found out about what's hitting. Like these guys getting
that
Satoshi all the time. This is another thing. It's understated, but it's giving me some style.
Yeah, I like it.
I even like the cut-off shirt with the long sleeve underneath that.
I like it. I'm going dripping for JC.
I'm going to go dripping at that too. All right, guys, we got to wrap it up. Thanks for tuning in. We got 1,200 people in here right now. Thanks for joining us. If you missed it or if you just want to rewatch it, you can go to our page on YouTube, Quick Blitz. Make sure you're subscribed and you're liking, and make sure you're following us for all of your Carolina Panthers news. Sheena at _Marie3 and at Keep Blitzing. We thank you for all of your support. And what else? That's it. We will be back for the spaces during halftime. And then again next Monday, we're going to do a lunchtime because it is a home game. So we appreciate you guys' support. And we'll see y'all next week.